Yeah, I'm Bob. I work for Greenpeace in the UK and I run all their events. We've been to Latitude twice before, so we wanted to do something here that they go away and talk about and kind of spread the word that we need to go back and teach people about nature, because we understand that even at schools it's not on the curriculum anymore. So we want to go out and spread the word that we should get back to nature and spend a bit more time and take care of the planet we're living on. It was aimed at what we call in-between ages. So we wanted to give them some action, because Greenpeace is a kind of an action-led organisation. So we've kind of got Monkey Do, who are people who build adventure playgrounds, to come and throw up all these nets and climbing things, so that's part of it. And then we've got some people called the Canoe Man, who are going to come and do bushcraft stuff, a bit like what Ray Mears does. So it's kind of, if you were stranded in the wild, how you'd survive with food and cooking and stuff, food for free. So it's a kind of a mixture of things, but the message behind it is to try and get people back to their roots, back to nature, and realise that milk comes from cows, not out of cartons.
Okay, I'm Mark Wilkinson, I'm the Canoe Man, and we're here working with Greenpeace in the woods, providing an introduction to bushcraft for all the people and all the revellers at the festival here. We were approached by Greenpeace asking us to put on something that will give people, particularly young people, an introduction to bushcraft, get them out into the woods and get them to understand how they can live and work with their environment. What we're going to be doing is a short session, introductory session, 2-hour sessions of 4 different activities. Making bread, all the way through to nettle cordage, which is making ropes and strings. In this instance they're going to be making some bracelets and some necklaces and all that sort of thing. All the way through to fire lighting, which young Will is about to demonstrate for us here.
What we're going to try and demonstrate here is how to get a fire lit when, like today, the woodland that you're working in is quite damp and all the wood around you is damp. So from a log, using an axe, we split it down into halves and then into smaller pieces of wood. And what we're going to do with these pieces is to create something called a feather stick, which is creating small amounts of tinder like this, which hopefully will take a spark in a minute. Taking a sharp knife, I'm going to shave off small thin pieces of wood down to the bottom, which are much more likely to take. Once you got to about that stage, we can just break that off, and it's these curly bits of wood here that'll hopefully allow us to take a spark later on. We're going to use a magnesium flint and steel to start the fire going, and hopefully the spark created by this is going to be taken by the inside or the outside of this birch bark here. We're going to strike the sparks towards the birch bark. With that we can put another little bit of birch bark on there. Its natural resins should create a bit of flame, on which we can now place our feather sticks that we made earlier. Once that's going, some smaller bits of the stick that we shaved off earlier, what was left of the feather sticks, can be placed on top. Then it will need about sort of 5-10 minutes of tending and putting more wood on, larger bits of wood, to create some embers that we can then warm ourselves, dry clothes, boil water and eventually cook on as well.